Microdose, yeah, Microdose. Hosted by Kush Hayes and Robyn Seto. Talking the talk, cause they got things for you to know. Let's go party with Miss Robyn in the games on Cameo. Yeah, Microdose, Microdose, dose. Microdose, Microdose, dose. Microdose, Microdose, dose. Microdose, Microdose, dose. What gets this next? Go and take a guess. No matter who it is, every episode's the best. Every episode's the best. Every episode's the best. If you disagree, you're crazy, simple as chess. Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here. Holy shit. So, look, y'all, we've been hyping it up, and I hope this is episode 200. It may not be, but it is June 28th, or it's after June 28th, and we're doing this, and guess what? You heard it in the song. Co-host, she is the creator, she is the writer for Polite Beer Expressions. Robyn Seto, what's good?
Hello,
long time no see. It is fantastic to see you again. Thank you for being a part of this. Like, I've been looking forward to this for a few months now. Like, ever since I made the call, like, we're doing it on this thing or this thing, but I know Robyn has to be here. Thank you for being here, Robyn. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been laying low, but that's how I've been staying good.
All right. Fair enough. That chuckle there is funniest man in the room. He is the creator, the CEO of Angel Cake Entertainment. You can find him on YouTube at Angel Cake Entertainment. Question mark? Drew Angelman, what's good, brother?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and excited to be a part of episode 200.
It's difficult booking people in the post-pandemic. Even the friends of the friends, and everyone means well, but like now everyone's just like, yeah, pandemic's over. I'm busy, and I appreciate the honesty for most of them. But there's been a few that just like there was an episode about a month back. I was hoping to have one of my favorite guests on. You're all my favorite guests, but I was hoping to have one of my favorite guests on. And 3 different platforms I reached out to this person, and I'm just going to blame this on technology. I don't believe this person is a flake or dissing me or anything, because like 2 weeks later, they're like, "Oh yeah, what dates were you thinking?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, dates X, Y, Z." Hello, tap tap tap. Is this thing on? I see the green dot. I know you're here. There are other dates in the calendar also, but again, I'm just going to blame this on technology. It's definitely an Instagram account, and I think now that them and Facebook are trying to be too integrated, especially with their Meta AI, like it's just interfering with stuff, or maybe they just have their notifications off. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing more interviews recently with like reality TV people, and I have gotten the cold shoulder. Even though I'm just starting out, I'm getting the cold shoulder quite often, or ghosting, or taking a while to reply. So I'm just like, okay, cool. That's totally on you. Like,
no,
I'm done.
I'm used to that, but I'm used to that with people like I don't know, have not interacted with, like Downtown Julie Brown. I totally understand why she has not returned my tweet. However, someone else that I have interviewed and was like, "Hey, we had a great time tonight. I thought it was fun. At least, would you like to come back?" And they're like, "Yeah, come back anytime." And it's like, "Hello, are you here?" Drew Angelman, I know it's June, so we haven't seen everything all together, but what have you seen recently?
Recently, actually, I just saw Furiosa.
Dude, pretty good, right?
It was fine. It was a movie. I mean, I wasn't expecting like Fury Road type of level of stuff, but there's things that were taking me out of it, kind of like the Furiosa's. Knowing that it was AI going into it, whereas
sorry. Please expand on that. I know you were going to, but please do.
No, apparently I saw an interview with Anya Taylor-Joy, and she was like, "Oh, well, the actress that plays the smaller version of Furiosa and I don't look anything alike." So they wanted it to be somewhat like similar as it progressed through the movie. So apparently it was like 80% the little girl's face and 30% Anya Taylor-Joy's face, like mixed together as the little child. And then by the time at the end of the movie happens, it's like 80% Anya Taylor-Joy and 30% the little girl face.
Oh,
And it was like Uncanny Valley at certain points in the movie, I felt.
okay.
And there's other stuff where it's like a movie that's mainly CGI. I felt like I could easily tell some of the weird CGI moves, like a lizard that looks plastic or a whole bunch of ragdoll effects that looked really weird in simulation, and they did nothing in post to be like, bodies don't move like that, but whatever. This is Australia. This is Mad Max. We can do whatever we want. And it kind of took me out of it for 2.5 hours. I went and saw Dune Part 2 like twice in theaters, and I wish I would have saw it a third time instead of Fall Guy.
Wow.
To me, Mad Max just dipped way too below what I was willing to go through to watch 2.5 hours of a movie, in my opinion.
It was
But I thought it was fine.
It was definitely too long.
Mhm.
So I didn't notice any of the AI transition. My biggest thing is it's prequels. We've talked
Yeah.
about it before, Drew. I don't like prequels. However, I thought they did a great job still. But it was obviously noticeable that like he got a little more comfortable with CGI, and
Yeah.
these things are a chore to undertake. So I was telling Robin here before the show started. I was just like, yeah, it's like instead of 90 days in the desert, maybe we just spend 46. Like it felt like that a lot to me. I still feel like this could have been a sequel as opposed to a prequel. I don't care if it's not
Yes.
Charlize Theron. I don't vibe to that, man. If it's a good actress, it's a good actress. Like, guess what? She just proved she could play Furiosa. Like, we could have just had that sequel. I did not want to know how she got her robot arm.
And it's really funny too, because like prequels, I feel like kind of are a setback to what makes the original movie good, to where it's like we want to do a sequel because we didn't flesh out this character. Like, you don't know every little detail of this character. It's just a character in a world that feels lived in. And I think that's what is like the attraction and an allure to certain movies. And then when they do a prequel, it's like we have to explain every little thing. She has a peach pit. She has an arm. She was here for like 80 days, and we're going to have 80 days worth of footage so you know exactly how long she's been here. And it's like, I don't need to know any of this. And I didn't care about any of this in the movie Fury Road. I never asked one question about. I was just like, this is a cool movie. But with a prequel, you have to answer every little thing. How many tickets? 1? Oh, so you're Solo. Thanks, Han Solo. I really am glad I know that little fact and figure about that. I really needed to learn where he got his name. I just needed that detail. No, I didn't. It was ridiculous. So stupid.
I was watching an episode of the John Campea show, who's hit or miss with me. It's actually unfortunate that he's hit or miss with me because he's still the best source of information on YouTube when it comes to like movies and details about box office and all that stuff. And brought to my attention that like, despite the fact that this thing like won a few Oscars and was nominated for several more, and I'm talking about Fury Road, like it barely made its full budget back. Like it was one of the things like, really? How is that possible? Because I saw it twice in theaters, and both of them were like nearly sold out. And this was still before like reserved seating was a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting because, yeah, I would think that movie had such good word of mouth that it would have made so much money for a while.
So I didn't even want to see Fury Road when it came out. I was just like, Mad
Same.
Max, I don't give it, like, whatever. Like, I don't care. I don't care. However, for like a week and a half, and like this was happening during like the NBA Finals too that I was working at. They're like, people were like, Mad Max, bro, you gotta see Fury Road. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, maybe I gotta see this fucking movie. I've not heard one bad thing, and this can only disappoint. And then I got out of the fucking thing, and I was like, holy shit! Like, believe the hype. This was amazing.
Yeah.
I know we normally do a thing where like, what's going on in the next quarter, brother? And I didn't prep you for that, but is there something coming out in the next 3 months that you're looking forward to? That's July 1st going forward, or even the rest of the year.
July. Well, this is actually a sad part, is that I used to run multiple podcasts of movie details and everything, and I feel like all those shut down. Then you asked me to be a guest on your podcast, and I feel like I brought some bad JoJo over here.
No,
But
not at all.
realistically, this is the only real like time I look at movies is coming on to like doing the podcast and stuff and looking at the quarters, which I have an AMC A list and I have no idea whatever comes out. So it's really sad because I used to be like super involved with like movies and box office and knowing what was coming out in like the years and stuff, and just no, it's just no. So I have I Wolverine's coming out, but I think that's July.
That's July. Yeah. Speaking of it, so I've been watching the Welcome to Wrexham show on well, it's now Disney Plus, but it was
So good.
It's a very good series, actually. One of the reasons I'm behind, I'm a little behind. So yeah, Rob McElhenney visited the set of Deadpool 3 and got a part on the thing, and they like, it's Marvel Comics. We got to blur everything out. So they're walking like down, just they're on sets and everything's blurred out but a face, and it'd be Ryan Reynolds or McElhenney, and then they have to do this thing where they have to go over business talk for their soccer team, their football team, in one of the trailers, and then everything's unblurred. But McElhenney is wearing this full-on, like, not even triple fat goose. It's like saying triple fat goose that goes down to his ankles to cover the costume he's wearing. And they try and blur it sometimes, but then there's like a big fat TVA logo on his chest. And you're like, oh, he's going to be one of the goons for the TVA. So, what's that? Hold on a second. I hear something. Madeline Kostner, what are you doing here?
Am I in here? Am I here? I don't know what I was clicking on. I guess I'm here.
Uh-oh. I'm happy to report.
I was trying to join a work call.
Madeline Kostner, welcome to Microdose number 200. It is a pleasure to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm all right. It's raining in New York.
Oh, ooh. That can be very, very tame or dramatic.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm good.
Outstanding. Madeline Kostner, as everyone knows, is the co-founder of the Unnamed Footage Festival. You can find more information for their digital festival coming up at unnamedfootagefestival.com.
Yes, that will be in August.
DVD box set, how have you been?
All right. Pretty good. Yeah, like we finished the last Unnamed Footage Festival at the very end of March.
Okay. How did that go? I wasn't able to get there, but how did it
went fantastically. It was potentially our best year ever. We had the most people there. We had the greatest program. Everyone was very excited, and we've been taking a breather before we start gearing up for virtual in August. So keep up to date with us. It's Unnamed Footage Festival.
Is the submission deadline over for August, or is it, we got a couple more weeks?
We don't really officially take submissions. So the best way to submit something to us for the virtual is to just message us. Honestly, tweet at us, send us an Instagram message. Like, we'll interact with you. The virtual is sort of a free-for-all.
Okay.
It is kind of our opportunity to create a TV station that starts at a given time and then expires 24 hours plus later. So we break a lot of rules doing it, and honestly, many will tell you it is the event of the year. It is not to be missed.
It is also not to be taken lightly. Like, it's an endurance marathon, you know. Like,
I do remember, Kush, when you attempted to watch the entirety of it on camera.
And I tried to watch the entirety on camera the first year you guys did the virtual fest, and I had to tap out for like 4, maybe 5 hours, and that's still on video. Like, he's just gone.
Yeah,
that's just an empty
no one
chair.
warned you that 24-hour film festival was a 28-hour film festival.
Oh, I did the math. I actually did the math. I was like, and there's gonna be some bumpers in between, and like I even told your partner Oksana, I was like, I think you got like a 30-hour festival going on here.
It
like,
was
YOLO.
It was a lot. Yeah, I died. I died, came back to life. I'm either a cat or a zombie. Nice. You figure it out.
Or a zombie cat.
Could be.
Yeah. At the festival in March, what would you say was the standout? Like, what stole the show? Like, maybe you guys were like, this one's gonna be it, but like everyone loved this one.
Oh, it was Mind, Body, Spirit. Mind, Body, Spirit brought the house down. People, like, it won our audience award. It was just like a packed theater, and you could tell everyone was feeling it. And that's actually out on VOD right now. So if you want, you can go and watch Mind, Body, Spirit today. It is a yoga influencer who starts doing witchcraft.
That old tale.
Legit the best. I mean, I love witches. I just want to like hang out and drink tea with witches all day. So
No, was this the Saturday night final? Because again, there's Monday, there's actually like more days now, but usually the Saturday night final movie is like the one everyone bonds with, and there's yodeling and hollering and oh my god, like it's the most liveliest of the festival. We saw Drew Angelman. I know you're not familiar with any of this. This might draw a blank. Robyn Seto, YouTube, but like one year we saw a movie about a youth group discovered a haunted porno mag. That shit was amazing.
That was a movie we wanted to show so bad, and we tried so hard to hunt down the director, but he had disowned the film. So we just showed it. We didn't permission or anything.
It was we all had a trauma bond that night. But it was like the strongest bond maybe we've ever had. Like I worked a motocross event where like I had to stand in the rain for 12 hours with a bunch of other people and then physically labor, and I was like, I don't know if we bonded over in trauma tonight, guys, but I think we could tell everybody we swam to Alcatraz legitimately. Like I think we can get away with that one. Another year prior, there was a La Llorona film before the Conjuring's La Llorona. And
this is one of my favorites.
It was so much cross content, I don't know, like they'll be talking in one scene and then they're still in the same room. Not a minute has changed, but like someone will be wearing a different shirt or sitting on the other side of the couch, and like, you know, at one point a girl in the movie starts just cussing him out. She's like, you knew this, we were going after La Llorona, and it was just like, yes, queen, you tell them off.
The best was there was like a ceiling fan in that sequence that had like a pull string. And while she's like doing her like monologue where she like she's like given 200%. Like she's going way too hard for this like no budget found footage horror movie. And the pull string fan, like the string is just like on her forehead. It's the greatest. It is called Her Cry, the La Llorona Investigation. It is absolute trash, and it's one of my favorite things we ever showed.
I simply don't remember a better time than that, honestly. Like everything else there've been some really good movies that you guys exhibit, but I was just like, I had the best time during the screening. Of anything, it's one of my favorite cinematic experiences.
Our Saturday night was actually Trash Humpers this year.
Trash Humpers, is that the sequel to Car Fuckers or Car Sex?
Car Sex is more the sequel to Trash Humpers. Okay. Trash Humper is the OG.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I've been I was telling Drew, I was telling Robyn, I've been doing a lot of YouTubing lately, and been discovering like just convention footage of the Blair Witch trio. And they got some shit to say, and like this is old footage, so like they're 10 years older now, but like back then they're just like, yeah, you know, like there was limos. And then there wasn't limos, and like it's like they're conflicted about how they feel about it, to say the least. Drew Angelman, what was your favorite found footage film?
So I've seen so many that are not good under the advisement of other people. Okay. And As Far Below or Beneath is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. But I guess
was that the French film?
As above, so below.
Yeah, that one was really bad. I have to say that was really bad.
I love that movie.
But I'll do the chalk answer of Blair Witch or Paranormal Activity. Just a chalky.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of Paranormal Activity. It's not even part 5. It's it's Mexican Paranormal Activity.
It's the
marked ones.
Oh god, the marked ones. The marked ones is legit. That movie's fantastic.
Yeah, that thing kicked fucking ass. And then they went like, we're gonna do one in 3D, and I was like, well, I like a gimmick, but what's that? What's that?
Wait, what is that? What's
Jaimel Hemphill, what are you doing here?
Boo! Hey, how's it going? Did someone say Blair Witch?
Yeah.
Do you know that the Jaimel Hemphill, he is one of the co-founders of National Press Comics, and you can find more for him at npccomics.com. Also, Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer and one of the winningest junior varsity Olympic coaches in Oakland.
Yeah, I'm the winningest coach in school history because I'm the only one in school history.
That still counts, buddy. That still counts. We were just talking found footage, man. You mentioned the Blair Witch Project. Do you have a favorite found footage film, Jaimel?
I mean, by default, I would go with Blair Witch because it's kind of the originator, and it's the only one that works because it's pre-internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like it worked in a way that's not possible now because you had that suspension of disbelief was way easier before the internet. Like I remember actually asking my cousin, like, could this be like, I had to make, my cousin's a cop, and I'm like, yo, could this be real? And he's like, well, no, the statute of limitations for murderers, there is no statute of limitations, so there's no way they could release evidence. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Because I was like, wait a minute, like, is this because the marketing for it was so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so good, and it took advantage of the lack of interconnectivity pre-internet that I think if you're born after like 1995, you just can't understand how believable it was.
Yeah. Right.
Like they were so good. It was so viral, so prescient in how they advertised it. Like, it's my favorite simply because of the place in history that it has.
I will make the argument that it could be recreated in terms of that, like, pulling the wool over people's eyes, but it cannot be recreated on that scale. It cannot be a mainstream product. It can't be something massive. It needs to be a weird little sneaky thing that probably utilizes the internet and current, like what is currently popular technology wise, especially YouTube, in order to like craft a story that people stumble across.
Yeah.
But Blair Witch tapped into something that nothing can recreate mainstream.
Right. I think if you created like a YouTube channel and monetize it that way, it could be a successful commercial venture.
Yeah. And people are doing that.
Yeah.
People are creating these like alternate reality game YouTube accounts, alternate reality game Instagrams, things like that. Often transmedia, sometimes with like in-person elements. And like we do try to like highlight some of that at the festival I work on, but you can't do it at a major scale.
Yeah.
No. It's weird how competent people are when it comes to like disproving something.
Mm-hmm.
But then they'll believe anything. It's like, really? Like, so like you are on the Flat Earth website and you're like, yeah, this is viable. But like, give them anything else, and they're like, no, I found this. This is not real. I've gotten to the root of this. They're like, you can't. You try to fool them, and all of a sudden everyone becomes Sherlock Holmes. But then you're like, COVID's not real. Okay. No one does the research there. It's like, I don't know. Sorry, I don't think that's political. But if I hurt someone's feelings, actually, no. If I hurt someone's feelings with COVID, I don't care.
I think we'll make that work.
If they think the Earth is flat and they think COVID is fake, turn the podcast off.
I don't value your feelings at all. I'm sorry for making you think that I do.
So during the pandemic, I got invested in like paranormal YouTube accounts, and there's just a lot of their accounts that are just like dedicated to like some of them just creating stuff, and some are like, we were doing a baking show. And then all of a sudden, like goat prints started going into the anyway. But I'm like, it's like there's like an account like Nuke's Top 5, and they were like top 10. Like, well, hold on, man. First off, the name is Top 5, but all right, whatever. Okay, but like top 10. A lot of the stuff you can easily debunk. Like, I see the string. No, that's not a demon. Stupid. You broke into an abandoned factory and you woke up a hobo at 3 a.m, and he doesn't know if you're trying to take his territory, if you're just some crazy asshole or a cop. He's just like trying to hide. Okay, but then like the aliens shows, or those, what are the ones, the paranormal shows where they go ghost hunting? It's like, it's been 15 seasons, guys. Oh yeah.
You haven't found them yet. Or like like
The
the
best
Oak
is
Island.
like hunting
Chasing Bigfoot.
Yeah, chasing
Yeah.
Bigfoot. That's the one
like,
with Bobo.
yeah, he's not that fast. He's not that fast. He's a big, hairy dude.
And they're constantly like contradicting themselves. They're like, Bigfoot would never do that. And I'm like, the hell do you know what Bigfoot would do?
It's like, have you met him and not told us? Like, I want to see the behind the scenes, like where they actually met Buffy. He's like, guys, look, you're making it really hard for me. I can't go shopping. And they're like, okay, well, we'll just pretend we didn't see you this time. Well, like, is there like
we don't want the show to get canceled, so just run along, sir.
No one debunks that, but try to make a found footage movie. It's like, no, there's no way this is real.
Robyn, you've been quiet. You got a favorite found footage film?
I haven't seen too many of them, and I honestly I haven't actually seen Blair Witch. It came out when I was a very small child.
Okay.
And so for a long time I thought it was real. I have seen a lot of like self-masturbatory art found footage films because I studied art in college, and those aren't very fun to watch.
I had the greatest idea for a film like 10 years after I graduated college. I wish I had majored in film so I could do This is Spinal Tap, but with film students. And like the whole thing would be us making a movie, but the movie is about how pretentious film students are. So the whole thing is just setting them up into like, let's do this by ear. Let's do a movie where we just do what we feel. And I want you to express yourselves and then just let them go. And just film them and show how like asinine some of them are, right? Like the movie is about how pretentious art students are, but it's This is Spinal Tap, but for Academy of Art students. Yeah.
Oh, Academy of Art specifically.
Oh boy.
Yes, there's a lot.
As
lot
a graduate, yes. Yeah.
I bet you could still do that today.
Yeah.
I bet sneakily. I mean, they only own the most real estate in San Francisco, so I bet you could totally do it under the radar.
Look, I applied for a job where I need a copy of my transcripts right now, so I'm not going to say anything, but get at me in about 6 months, and I will have a lot to say about that.
All right. I remember I saw the Blair Witch Project in the theater. I had to go to a little mom and pop theater on Geary Street, which is now, I think it's like a YMCA or not even like, or like the office of a YMCA baseball team. Like it's not a movie theater anymore. 20 years now, it's not a movie theater anymore. However, a line was around the block. Before that, I think the last time I stood in line was like Terminator 2, and the next time I would stand in a line that long would be probably Star Wars, but then after that it would be like Black Panther. All right, like this was the movie that made people go around the block. And once we got into this itty bitty little theater that's just all tight and squished, and it's the most uncomfortable seats because it's 1999. I had a great time. A lot of people complained about motion sickness, but I was just like, this movie's all about like sound, and I like the thing in theater, and and then the scene where Mikey's standing in the corner haunted me for 2 days. But like other people were telling me, it was like, you didn't even see the witch. I was like, you're not supposed to see the witch. However, they had a scene where like you were supposed to see the witch, and they're just like, we didn't get it. Sorry, bro. Like,
yeah, I saw it at a midnight showing. Like,
nice. I had to see it like 3 PM. I was not doing that.
It was like early. Well, it was early on in the run, which is why I was completely full. Like it was really, really early on in the run. Like, I don't think it even had a TV commercial yet.
Okay.
People were just talking about, oh, you gotta see this movie. It might be real. And they had like the website and everything. And you're like, so my friend's like, we gotta see this. This is, remember, I'm Gen X. This is the Faces of Death generation, right? So we were ready to see we were ready to see actual death on screen. I was like, yeah, this is real cool. We're gonna watch some people die. And I don't know.
I would own a copy of Band on TV at this moment. Yes.
Yeah, this is where all my friends ended up on those milk cartons. This explains everything. Cool, right? So I mean, right? Like we were told we were going to disappear, so this was right in line with our beliefs on how the world worked. We were like, of course, there's a witch that kills children. The entire planet. Our parents are trying to kill us by sending us outside at 6 in the morning and tell us not to come back till the night lights come on. So we understood this. But it was amazing. Like there was enough. It was well done enough that if you didn't have any knowledge or didn't have the world at your fingertips like you do now, where you can prove things, like you came out of the theater like, man, it was really suspenseful because I went in with no expectations. So it surprised me in a way. 2, I don't think I'd ever watch a found footage movie before. I don't think. I have to look back in my movie watching, but I don't think never nothing quite like that.
Unlikely. There wasn't I think anything doing that kind of first person camera with like a full crew before the Blair Witch. Like that's what it really created. Is that style of like mockumentary.
Exactly. Like I don't think I'd ever seen anything quite like it. So even if I don't know that I came out still thinking it was real, but I came out thinking like, wow, that was an experience. Like I had no expectations. I was just wondering what it was about, wondering what it was like, and it was really suspenseful. You know, I liked the ending with so many unanswered questions and whatnot, and you know the fact that we'd never see the witch. I mean, it uses as an artist. Look, your imagination is going to make anything scarier than any practical effect or any design. I think Alien is probably the only movie where, you know, Geiger managed to come up with something more effed up than what my brain could come up with. It's probably the only movie that's ever done that. So whatever the witch looks like, she's more terrifying. I think that's where the sequels messed up. They started trying to make it, you know, more like a actual horror movie rather than this.
Well, so that second one is definitely trying to just be a horror film, and it's despite how bad it is, it's an interesting commentary on the reaction to the first film.
Yes, definitely.
But then they just scrapped all that shit to the side, and they were like, "Nah, we're gonna do Blair Witch 3, and it's gonna be a found footage film." And it's like, well, all right, so these batteries last for days.
Exactly.
They got a drone. All right, but you've got $10,000 worth of equipment, college students. I guess. But
it just doesn't work, and it's kind of like watching old '80s movies where almost like 9/10 of any plot could be solved by a cell phone. Like
it could be cool, but they in that final movie, and they're trying to do another one later. So one, they show the witch, which is also, I think, the same model from the the guy who made Spawn, McFarlane, the McFarlane figure. They actually made a Blair Witch McFarlane figure. Which is incredibly weird. But
super white, like long limbs.
Looks like a tree.
It
was weird. So they show that, but then they also like introduce time travel, which could be interesting. The only actual good thing out of that movie is where like girl, again, it's always girl, she's stuck in like some tunnel and just like rabbiting her way through, and again, like you're getting reception under there. Like what the
I mean, I will say I am the Blair Witch or whatever that reboot was called. I'm an apologist. I quite dug it. I also dig Blair Witch 2. I fucking love that they were like, oh, we're going to hire an Academy Award winning documentarian to come in and make the sequel to The Blair Witch. And he was like, screw you guys. I'm not making found footage. I'm going to make a weird goth, like new metal movie.
They try to
about
make it different.
Perspective and believing like what you see instead of what you know to be true. I don't know. I dig them all, but I also am like, as long as something is interesting, I'm into it. Like all the only things I don't like are things that are just flat out boring. Like no new ideas, no experiments, just boring as hell. And I would say every entry in the Blair Witch oeuvre, which you say that better than me. Is
Madeline, you're the obviously the found footage expert here, and like we talked about before Jaimel jumped in, like I discovered this rabbit hole of Comic-Con convention footage of them talking to the Blair Witch trio, and they're a little disgruntled, but they also like, yeah, we had a good time. However, most recently, and I'm talking about most recently, like 5 weeks ago, it's June 28th right now. 5 weeks ago, they made another statement like, we need to get better rep. We need to be paid more no, we didn't get paid enough, but we did sell our rights to that movie. Like they owned stock in the actual film. They were part owners of the film when they sold it. However, they're like, and also, if you're going to do anything else going forward, video games, comic books, movies, whatever, like, we need to be involved in that. You need our opinion to let you know, like, yeah, that's good, or yeah, that's stupid. Thoughts?
Oh, I mean, I think it's true. I think like it's such like a weird niche IP to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like it isn't like they created, speaking of comic books, like it's not like they made the X-Men. Like,
no, right.
Like they made the Blair Witch. There were 3 movies made over almost 3 decades. There's a video game or 2,
mm-hmm.
and then there's a bunch of novelizations and like things that they wrote. They made the website. Like it's their weird art thing. I don't think they expected it to have a life like this. They probably barely made any money off of it when they sold it flat out.
$300,000 a piece.
Exactly. That's like not much for like an IP. So I think that they should at least bring them on as consultants, throw them some points. Who gives a shit? Like, and it's also Blumhouse, or Blumhouse sucks now.
Yeah.
Either let it die or just bring the original guys back in because they're smarter than you. That's my feelings.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that no matter what, the sequels to the Blair Witch, none of them feature enough dripping nose. And I think that when you boil it down, that's what made the movie. All right. Yeah. I'm being slightly facetious, but also it's kind of iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like talk about realism.
Yeah. Like no movie was brave enough to show somebody crying hard enough that their nose dripped. And I mean, that's the thing that got us to go, maybe this is real. Because Hollywood wouldn't do that. She would.
I remember seeing the trailer during Ghost Dog, and I was just like, "Oh shit, are they showing us a snuff film?" Because it looked real.
Right.
When Blair Witch was in theaters, I was like a teenager, and I was terrified of horror movies at that point. So like, I did not go to see them. So I went to see Castaway, the Tom Hanks movie with the volleyball.
Sure.
At the same time as Blair Witch was playing in that same theater. Like it was like a 2 or 3 screen theater. And so one screen had Castaway, another screen had Blair Witch. And I just remember seeing people running out of the theater.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, like people were running into the bathroom. There was a woman vomiting. Like people were scared out of their fucking minds.
Yeah.
And I was watching Castaway.
Which is torturous in a different way, though.
My mom took me to see Dances with Wolves, and Hudson Hawk was playing in the next theater.
Yeah, and people were running out of the theater. They were vomiting.
Hudson Hawk, again.
Why would Bruce Willis do this to us?
Do you guys smell something? I think that's the sound of the Robyn Seto Cameo Party. Party. It's the Robyn Seto Cameo Party. Robyn, it's been a long time. Let's remind everybody how we play this game.
Oh yeah, it's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. This is like Price is Right rules, with Cameo prices. Yes, the very famous website Cameo, where celebrities name their own price for a custom message requested by you. So we have our guests try to guess the price as close as possible without going over. Are we gonna do this? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 way. Wow.
Yeah.
Big game.
This is all of my greatest adversaries in this game here. I think maybe I beat Drew once, and maybe that was like the Harlem Globetrotters, Washington Generals issue. Where like, yeah, I threw the ball up and it wasn't supposed to go in.
There's no way I was good at this. I don't understand anything about anything.
Well, we're gonna get into it tonight, then.
All right, I have 5 celebrities here for you guys to guess their cameo prices. First
Right.
celebrity we have is Ernie Hudson of Ghostbusters fame and other things.
I think we should go ladies first.
All
then
right.
Jaimel, then Drew. And
All
then
right.
I'll fill
And then
in.
Kush at the end. All right. Madeline.
I'm a lady.
You are. A
Are
lady.
you a lady?
Today you are.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie
Yeah.
Hudson.
$45.
45. Okay. Or
He
personal
had
stories.
a cameo in the show Psych once.
Yeah.
Definitely cheap.
Right now he's on the latest rendition of Quantum Leap, I believe.
Which got canceled.
Oh, already?
It got canceled. At NBC, I'm never like I have a decades long hatred for NBC ever since they brought Jay Leno back, and it cost us like 3 good shows.
Oh, brother.
And now they've made a huge mistake by not shifting, at the very least, shifting Quantum Leap to the Peacock. Like, if it doesn't get enough people on TV, first off, you need to respect that even though you're a broadcast channel, you're not going to get 35 million people watching shows anymore. You need to be happy with 2 or 3 million people. You just need to, there's like 5,000 channels now. People don't watch things on appointment anymore. You should be really happy when 2 million people watch something live. And Quantum Leap was doing that. I think it got 2 or 3 million people. That's more than enough. And if it isn't enough, it would have done fine on Peacock. Because it was a really well-written show featuring Ernie Hudson, by the way, which is why I'm talking about it. And NBC, F you. Bill Cosby should have bought you. That's the worst curse I could think of. Bill Cosby should have bought you. That's how much I'm angry at them.
It's kind of crazy that like when you pick a show to watch on one of those like basic cables, it's like it more than likely it's going to get canceled. But then there's like shows that you hear has like 9 seasons, and you're like, what? When did this have 9 seasons?
Yeah, like what is
Who's
that?
watching Young Sheldon?
Like do you know that show 911?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I did not know this show existed. And then I'm watching
too.
It has 3 spin-offs. It's got about 9
seasons. And they saved the original by putting it on another network. It's on ABC now.
Yeah.
It was on Fox.
I swear I never heard of this show. I did not know it existed. And then I'm watching something else and an ad comes up and it's a cruise ship that's exploding.
Yeah.
And they're like, call 911. I'm like, wait, what? What is he doing?
My wife loves that show, and every show I'm like trying to predict the Final Destination Rube Goldberg thing that's going to happen in the first 10 minutes of the show. They're like, oh, this guy's using a nail gun. He's going to shoot himself in the chest. I don't know how.
That is TV now. It's so bizarre.
Something's going to happen that should not happen. Anyway. Yeah, but NBC's horrible. If I ever get something I make adapted, I know that I'm going to CBS. Either that or I am sacrificing babies to the same demon that Dick Wolf serves. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Dick Wolf is dead, by the way. So.
Is he?
No. All right.
He's been dead for a while.
Yeah. Then how is he still making shows?
Well, the production company's in his name. It's not him.
It's gravy. I wouldn't be surprised if we think he's dead and he's actually immortal because he traded his soul for multiple shows. He's still this ghoul-like corpse that is creating procedurals.
I know. Oh, he ain't dead. He's alive.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. No.
Jerry Orbach is dead, and I know because there were ads in the subway for his eyeballs. They were like, Jerry Orbach donated his eyeballs to science. You should do it too. And they had ads in the subway in New York City for that. Yeah, Google Jerry Orbach's eyes. Believe me, this is real.
Oh
my God. Neil, what's your guess for anything?
That's the long way around.
But this game's never getting finished.
Seeing as how he had Quantum Leap and he's also in that latest Ghostbusters movie, I'm gonna think he's kind of in demand. But I haven't played this game in a long time, so I'm just gonna start as a hefty $100.
Right. Okay. 100.
Drew. I should be in a good spot because I'm going third, but I feel like it's gonna be really bad because I feel like it's in the middle of $140. So I'm going to say $62.
Okay.
Okay. I love the original Ghostbusters. I've seen it so many times as a child. First off, it scared me as a child in the theater, so I ran out once the demon arms are coming out and grabbing Sigourney Weaver's boob. I'm like, I'm out. I can't handle this. I'm 5 years old. No way. But once it came on like cable and VHS, like I watched the thing so many times, like I had to replace 2 VHS copies of it. I own it on DVD. I own it on this, that. Anyway, the newest Ghostbusters is very disappointing. I loved his role in Quantum Leap. I even went to a Comic-Con in 2007 out here in San Francisco. I think it was WonderCon or whatever, and we're going down Autograph Alley, and it's like, all right, there's a kid who played Boba Fett in Episode 2, and there's Lou Ferrigno and Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? How many times have I said that tonight? And it was like, I'm selling Polaroids for $20. And I was like, here. I couldn't give it to him quick enough. His Polaroid malfunctioned, or the film developed badly, so I have the most faded Polaroid of myself with Ernie Hudson from 2007. I spent $20 on it. Having said that, I'm going $50.
50.
He's a working man. By the way, he's not only on Quantum Leap, he's on like a Tubi show or some BLK Prime. He's on some other
We have shows.
he's working. He's a worker.
Are we ready for the reveal?
Por favor.
Yes.
For $195, you can get
Holy.
yourself an Ernie Hudson cameo. That means Jaimel wins this round.
Yeah.
All right.
You gotta keep score up.
Yes, I am keeping score.
Outstanding.
95.
I
Wow.
have my little pad here.
$195. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if I can swing that.
Those 2 new Ghostbusters really went to his head.
Yeah.
Well, that last,
I mean,
the one
he's the
before
only
the
one
new one
that's
was
still.
good.
He's the only one that still is able-bodied enough to act. I mean, Bill Murray
Right.
kind of, but that guy doesn't
Yeah.
even have a phone. Like,
Yeah, right.
His
Jeez.
brain, his body might be okay with his brain.
yeah. Like Dan Aykroyd is busy solving the mysteries of the universe. Like,
Oh yeah,
Making
and he's
vodka.
making Crystal Skull vodka.
Do you think Dan
Ernie's the
Aykroyd
only
is
one you
like
can get if you want a real
giving-
Ghostbuster.
Do you think Dan Aykroyd is giving Bill Shatner misinformation? Just like, say this shit and just they'll never know.
Does Dan Aykroyd do cameos?
I don't think he does.
And will he do them in character from
Yeah.
what is it, Nothing But Trouble? Is that movie he made?
I bet he
Where he
would.
had an actual penis for a nose?
I bet he would.
I need Dan Aykroyd to do a cameo as the drunken Lewis from Trading Places. I need literally him in the Santa outfit holding a fish. Like that's what I want.
That's gonna be like $1,000.
I'd pay $1,000 for that.
Yeah.
Just for like that.
You hear that, Dan? I know you'll
Yeah,
listen.
I'd pay that. Steve Martin, if you want to do your last monologue from the jerk, where you're telling me all you need is a thermos, like I'll pay for that too. Just telling me that he doesn't need me, he doesn't need anything, just this chair and this thermos. I'd pay any amount of money for Steve Martin to tell me that.
All right, round 1. Round 2, we have the lovely Fran Drescher.
She's the
Matt.
president of SAG.
President of SAG.
Is she? That is
Yeah.
quite an interesting fact.
Yeah.
Mr. Sheffield.
And she also took it away from Gabrielle Cardieres, I believe, was the one before her, right? From 90210.
Okay. I'm not
Yeah,
familiar with
yeah.
that name. I've seen 90210. I don't know that name.
She was the only one who was playing a teenager at 30 and lied to do it. Interesting
Andrea?
factoid.
Oh, Andrea. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot the character's name. Yeah, but she lied and told them that she was still in her 20s,
Yeah.
but she was already in her 30s, but looked young enough to play a 17-year-old. You know. Well, I don't know if she looked young enough. She looked young enough for Hollywood's over-sexualized version of a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they vote all that stuff in, so like sometimes just like I'm done. I want to say Jennifer Love Hewitt was a president at one point.
Huh.
Oh, interesting.
I might have that name wrong, but it was one of those just like really hurt. Like
Hurt?
the reaction you guys had, it would be. Anyways, Madeline, Fran Drescher.
Yes.
Well, she's a Jewish icon. $200.
Okay. Jaimel, what do you think?
How much you gonna like? Her voice actually sounds like that. Like, I'm gonna say 150. If Ernie's getting 195, I see why Madeline went 200. But I'm gonna say 150 because everyone's gonna ask her to do the nanny, and I'm like, she's probably like, yeah, I'm gonna go 150. I'm gonna go 150.
Right. Drew.
I agree with everybody that maybe she would be higher than Ernie, but something's telling me like this is a trick. This could be lower. She's very gracious and courteous to people's time and money. So I'm gonna say for some reason $75.
Okay.
I think that's a good bet. That's a good bet. I'm gonna go way high and out of the ballpark on this one. So I watch a lot of YouTube, as I've stated several times tonight, and for whatever reason, there are not one, not two, but three Alf marathon channels, all from Shout Factory. One in English, one in Japanese, one in German, currently playing right now. I watched the English version last night, and there's this whole thing where Alf is
currently
on. Watched this episode last night where Alf is thinking about the future because he's like, yeah, I'm going to live till 400, but these folks die at like 75. Oh no. So he's living with the young boy Brian, and in his world, he's married to Fran Dreicher, and she is a Mafi queen. She does not have the high squeaky voice. It's very soft and sophisticated and very evil because she's like, yeah, murder the fucking puppet. Anyway, she was a big factor in the SAG-AFTRA strike, and despite how much people, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but it's the last episode, so no one will find me. That's fine. They kept compromising. Yeah, you can't you can't work, you can't do this, you can't promote this thing. Oh, Timothy Chalamet, well, I guess you're French, so you can go on Saturday Night Live and promote Wonka. I guess that'll be okay. Little things like that. Like, oh, Michael Jai White, you made a micro budget movie. Yeah, I guess you can promote that on YouTube, whatever. Anyway, I'm saying she's going for $500 a pop here.
All right.
Yeah. Well, she's old school too.
The big reveal is $1,000 for a friend.
Gosh. That's how we do it here on the Microdose.
All right,
I
yeah.
could have
So
won
Kush
it.
gets that point. Kush gets
But
that
I
point.
didn't.
Sheesh.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, she doesn't have enough time for that. That's one of those categories I place like, I don't want to do this, but if someone's going to give me $1,000 for it, I guess I will.
Yeah.
You remember Ed Asner? That poor man before he died was having cracker crumbs on his sweater vest. Like it was sad, but it was like, well, someone paid me $250, so whatever. Like,
All right, round 3. We have Kevin Smith.
Ugh.
Kevin Smith. Madeline, what do you think? Kevin Smith.
Will he cry for us on his cameo?
Oh,
that's gotta cost extra.
Oh,
That's hard because like he's such a dork,
yeah.
but he's always overcharged for what he does. Like I remember when he toured with Red State, it was $50 a ticket to go see that movie.
Wow. And that's like what, 2007 prices?
Yeah. So, but again, like maybe he's learned his lesson since then. Like, I'm just gonna do $200 again.
Okay.
Just yeah.
Yeah.
Because he also, I think, like hangs out at home and like has. I don't think he has anything better to do than cameos.
Yeah. Kev is the podcast king right now.
Yo, I kind of have a crush on his daughter.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Harley Quinn, which also just makes him dork of the century as well.
Yeah, what a bummer name.
Yeah.
And like, but she's fucking cool.
Yeah, he raised a cool kid. Here's the thing. I love me some Kevin Smith. All right, and I went from being an unnecessary. Also, if Kev, if you're listening for some reason, because I know you're the podcast king, I want to apologize for an unnecessary troll that I did like 15 years ago. Totally unnecessary, and it was before I understood how great of a person Kev was. I'm not going to go deep into it, but all you got to look up is Kev's Black Cat comic, which took a very, very long time to finish. And he was gracious enough to stop on the convention floor of WonderCon in San Francisco and take a picture with my friend, was a huge fan, didn't charge her anything. And my prompt was like, everybody say Black Cat. And he's like, oh, like you can see it in the picture. He's like, oh, and like, didn't need to say that, Kev. This was before I understood like what a great human being you are, because like flat out, I want to give him his flowers. He has literally become the greatest ambassador that comic books have right now. Like after Stan Lee's passing, Kevin Smith is literally the greatest ambassador for geekdom any fan could ever want. The guy is relentlessly positive. If it's not good or he doesn't think it's good, he just doesn't say anything about it, right? He uses the internet as it should be used. He just pumps up what he likes, doesn't crap on anybody, and is just relentlessly positive and a great human being. I listen to a bunch of his podcasts. It gets repetitive because he says the same thing on all of them. But he talks about it's just him talking about the same thing with different people, but it's still cool because he's incredibly nice and incredibly positive. So in that vein, I'm gonna think he makes himself very accessible to people because he's just a cool as hell dude. But I also understand Madeline's point. So I'm going to say,
yeah, but I was torn because I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like he just wants to like geek out with people.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
yeah.
He's just a really, and like if you listen to him talk whenever he's dealing with a live audience, if he hears that somebody else is creating something, he immediately becomes their biggest cheerleader. So I'm going to say $75. Not exactly pocket change, but accessible enough that most people could have access to him. And I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like y'all made some really good points. And my initial instinct was that he was going to be accessible. Like around $25 to $30. Like he wants to just have like do cameos for people who are fans of his. But then again, I went with my instincts last time and I thought Fran Dresser was going to be like $75. And he needs to make Clerks 4, you know? And I'm sure his cameos are all like 45 minutes each because he just likes to talk. And if you give him one prompt, he can talk for 45 minutes on it. And that's a gift. So per minute for the cameo, I think for the experience and everything, I'm just going to say $300.
Whoa. Yeah, that's
right.
That's pretty big. It's pretty big. Kevin Smith, dude, like I remember seeing Clerks for the first time. It would be on video cassette, but I was working at a grocery store and I was like, this thing is 100% legit. Well, maybe not the skate, the roller skating on the roof, but everything else, 1,000% happened. I'm living that right now. Not every movie is great. There's, in fact, several of the recent editions he's had has been very missed for me. I understand he's doing a lot of comic book television. So like he did a bunch of episodes of Supergirl, The Flash. Those have now been canceled, but he's not going to stop there. Clerks 3, wasn't the hugest fan of that. However, when they fucking killed Dante, that broke me. And the way they went about it, and both Rosario Dawson's scenes, I was like, this is the best thing he's ever directed, ever. So, and you guys are right. He's got a very generous heart. He's very warm. He knows his fan base also, and also his fan base is very loyal to him. Like not unlike a Juggalo. It's I don't want to offend anybody on either side with that. However, I don't know if it's 300, but I'm gonna say 250 because he's still got to pay his Los Angeles mortgage.
Okay. Well, $999 is what Kevin Smith wants.
Damn.
For a cameo, which means Drew gets the point.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes
Less
sense.
than Fran Drescher.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was setting up his cameo and the first one he saw just to get like an estimate on what to price it out was Fran Dresser's, and he's like, oh, I'm not that big, so I'm gonna put it down $1.
Yeah. I would imagine that it's gone up in the past couple years.
Probably.
I'm sure he started out super low, and now he's
Mhm.
just so busy that he's like, you know what I mean? He priced it because I don't know, like it seems, or maybe he just saw how much money he was making. He's like, man, I need to I'm gonna get a wrap
I
for
don't
each of
know.
these.
He's always been pretty comfortable asking for money from people.
That's true.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Alrighty. Moving right along into round 4, we have John Rhys Davies.
Wait, Sliders, John Rhys Davies?
John Rhys Davies.
Lord of the Rings,
Sala,
John Rhys Davies.
Gimli.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
John Rhys
However
Davies.
you want to remember him, John Rhys Davies. He is on Cameo. So Madeline, what do you think he wants for
He's
a custom
old,
message?
right? He's got to be in his 80s.
He's quite elderly, yes.
Yeah.
He's definitely a senior
Yikes.
citizen.
So I'm torn because I don't know. I guess he's been in a lot of like kind of iconic movies, but I feel like he is popular with an older generation. But at the same time,
That generation has money.
that generation has money and he's in his 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So like
he is
what's
80,
he
yes.
showing up for?
Mhm.
I'm going to go with a sweet $200 again. Because I am bad at this game. So
Well, so far, there's a three-way tie happening, so you're not off.
yeah. Between everyone except me.
Sure.
Here.
It's because you go first. That's why.
Yeah,
It's 'cause you go
so I
first.
can't like
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm fine with sticking with my bid of $200 for just about everyone.
Cool. All right. Jaimel.
Yeah. To give you an idea of just how long this guy's been around, I said Sliders, right? I was like, Sliders, John Rhys Davies? The guy who actually made the show, the guy where there's a significant drop in how good that show was the moment Arturo leaves. Gosh, I'm gonna go high because he's one of those people. He may not be a superstar, but he's been a character actor in enough franchises that you don't need everybody to know you, but there's enough people who are diehard fans of a specific franchise that would pay a boatload of money to get that favorite character from that franchise to say hi to them. And he's also 973 years old by now, so he's got a. I'm gonna go $300. I'm gonna go higher. My first glance was 500, but I'm gonna hedge it because once again, this is still a person who might do Comic-Con appearances. So if it only costs you like $100 to $150 to get him at a Comic-Con, so I'm gonna double it and say $300 for a cameo.
All right. Drew.
This is a tough one because I feel we're gonna have a dip one at some point, and this is like a perfect trap.
You're 8-0, and now you got to play the Bengals. Oh, this will be an easy game.
But for some reason, and my instincts have been off a lot. This game, except for last round when I went against my initial instincts. So I'm just gonna go back to my instincts, see if they're back on track, and I'm gonna go with the first number that came to my mind, which was $450.
Wow.
Cool.
Well, I know that John Rhys Davies goes further past Sliders, all the way to Raiders of the Lost Ark, maybe even beyond that. I don't know that this is first role. However, everyone has said everything they have to say, and I don't think I can add anything better to that. So I'm just gonna go $1.
Ooh,
that's a good one. It's good.
Oh, okay.
That's Price is Right strategy right there.
Alrighty. Well, for a cool $300.
Wow.
Right on the money, Jaimel. You get it for this round.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
He's a hits. All right. Here's our last round. And I do have a super secret tiebreaker round if we get a little tied up here. But here we go. Round 5. Robert Picardo.
The Doctor himself. Not the Doctor Who. The Doctor of Voyager.
What else was he in?
And Woolsey and Stargate.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was in 976 Evil, which is an episode that features Madeline Kostner on the Kush and Kai show.
Creepy phone guy.
It does. Gosh. He's a convention guy. He's got to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is.
For sure.
Oh God. $75. I'm bad at this game.
All right. Here's the thing. My only interaction with Robert Picardo was at at San Diego Comic Con in 2008, and he won $50 for a Polaroid, or not Polaroid, for a picture, signed picture.
Mm-hmm.
He did not do flash photography.
Interesting.
He is a guy. He was very nice, but he was obviously at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like Lou Ferrigno is a guy who likes to be at conventions.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Mayhew is a guy who likes to be there. They'll have conversations with you. Robert Picardo is like, I'm at work.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was not. It was. I've learned, in my years of being a dork behind tables at conventions, you see some people are there to have fun, and some people are there because it's their job. And Robert Picardo was there because it's his job. It has now been 15 years since that interaction, and inflation is huge. And Robert Picardo knows and values his place in Star Trek lore. I am going to say, based on some of the other costs we've seen here today, I'm going to say $350 because this guy ain't showing up. Anything, that has to do with making money off his work, which Cameo definitely is, he is saying, this is what I am worth. I know what I am worth, and I'm going to make money off of it. So I'm going to say $350. And I even think I'm a lowballing it there, but I'm just going to say that.
All right.
All right. Drew?
All right. I'm going to try a strategy of going in between again. I'm going to go $250.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm going to just bump it up to $500 and then remind everybody he's also Johnny Cab in Total Recall. They actually molded his face and then added the prosthetics. And yeah, that's him.
Well, he is charging a humble $150.
Whoa.
Wait, did I get it then?
Cameo, that means we are completely tied up here, folks. Wow, yeah, Madeline, you got that point? Tiebreaker for a second. Because this is a special 200 episode. Ode. Sorry, I have had a couple drinks and the math is not mathing. All right. Are we ready? Are we all set to guess our last Cameo celebrity?
Yes.
Vanilla Ice.
Oh no.
Vanilla Ice.
Home renovator? Vanilla Ice?
Yeah, the motorcycle racer.
See, that's an interesting one because very famous, well-known name, not in demand.
No. He is truly the proto Drake.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I'm $200. Let's just stick with it. Let's go with that. Yeah.
See, here's the thing. He's either really lowballing it just to get every dollar that he can get, or he's going to be extremely pricey to get as much money as he can from like the little amount of people that are going to use this ironically to show people on their birthdays and stuff. I'm going to say that he's a jerk, and I'm going to say $375.
Pretty good guess. That's a pretty good guess. Vanilla Ice, yeah, that dude has had quite a history. So yeah, like we already said, motocross racer, a home renovator. He had a music
Madonna for a hot minute.
Did he? Good for him.
I think so. I mean, he definitely was involved with Madonna. I don't know.
They took a picture at least.
Yeah, they took one photo together, and I'm like, they were together.
That's like saying he was involved with Suge Knight. Didn't he dangle him over a?
Yes. Suge Knight owns Ice Ice Baby because he hung Vanilla Ice, Robbie Van Winkle, out of a hotel balcony by his ankles.
So no, they did. They hooked up in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he was written about in her book Sex.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Doing my Robert De Niro impressed face. Okay. I'm gonna say $500 again.
500.
Again, he's like, I guess I'll do it.
$399 is what he's charging.
Wow.
So that means second place crown goes to Drew. Congratulations, 200 episodes winner Jaimel Hemphill of the Robyn Seto Cameo Party. Crown will be mailed to you via FedEx.
Robyn Seto's Cameo Party. Robyn Seto's Cameo Party. I've had so much fun, and I appreciate all of you for stopping by, however unexpectedly or expectedly it was. But let's get it on here. Drew Angelman, we gave you some props at the beginning, but tell people what's coming up on Angel Cake Entertainment.
A whole bunch of reality TV commentary and videos. I don't really have a whole lot of plans right now. Everything's kind of up in the air. So yeah, just go check it out and have fun.
What kind of reality TV are you into? Like, what is?
A lot of MTV stuff. The Challenge mainly. So that's what I do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna tune in. I'm into this.
Yeah, his videos they're super fun.
Found footage and reality TV. There's some crossover there.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah. Madeline Kostner, we know you got the Unnamed Footage Festival virtual edition coming up in August. Anything we should be looking forward to in that or after that?
I mean, anybody in the New York City area, we do Astoria Horror Club at Heart of Gold in Astoria, 31st and Steinway. The first and third Monday of every month, we watch horror movies in the beer garden of a very sick bar. So find us on Instagram. It's just at Astoria Horror Club. And come watch a movie with us if you're around.
Jaimel Hemphill, National Press Comics. Anything coming up on the radar that we should be aware of and buy 3 copies of?
Well, we're working on some new titles. We didn't get the result we wanted with one of our last year's Kickstarters, but don't worry, those of you who are looking for the next issue of Scrap, we are hard at work on the next entire arc. So later this year, you should see issues 6 and 7 of that. I've got some stuff coming down the pike. Don't want to make promises I can't keep, but keep it locked on npccomics.com for some exciting announcements in the next month or so. And we will hopefully be entertaining you with new stories very, very soon. Scrap is a comic book about a young girl named Shannon Noble who takes MMA classes after topping out in regular martial arts. And then she finds out after starting MMA that some legends are more than just legends. If you are a fan of Udon's Street Fighter series, or you like any adaptations of like Mortal Kombat or things like that, you will really, really like this. Our thing at NPC is comics are for everyone. Scrap is literally our ode to martial arts being for everyone.
Oh, I'm obsessed already. This sounds. Yeah. I'm going to read this. Like I'm just being introduced to all this new shit I want to look up. So thank you guys.
Yeah, it's been a huge hit for us. I think people really feel seen with reading it. The creator Fred McKinstry is a great friend of mine who has been taking jujitsu for about 15 years now. And he wanted to make a book that showed his love for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, and hopefully have people who don't feel seen, who also love MMA, to feel seen in this book. So it's super cool. A lot of cool characters, a lot of great character design by the Zong brothers. And with issue 5, he just switched artist to Charles Stewart III, who is one of the winners of the Milestone Initiative from DC Comics. Charles worked on some Milestone books, and now he's working on Scrap after doing the covers for the first 4 issues. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Outstanding. Robyn Seto, creator of Polite Beer Expressions. When is the wedding? Where is the wedding? And can we all get a +1?
There's a lot of work I gotta do before the wedding here. My fiance does live overseas, so there is some government paperwork that needs to be done. So hopefully within the next year or so there will be a wedding. It will probably be a courthouse wedding, I'm going to be honest, because I don't have time for that bride stuff. But yeah, that is very exciting. I do artwork for a YouTube channel called Generation Y Entertainment. Focuses on a lot of mostly millennial nostalgia media, a lot of Simpsons stuff, He recently did a video on Alien Resurrection. Pretty cool stuff. I mostly just do like gag thumbnails and little visual jokes. But those videos I think are pretty fun. So check that out. Generation Y, WHY Entertainment.
That's what's up. Guys, the four of you are four of my favorite people. Thank you for being on the show as much as you have. Thank you for contributing as much as you have. Thank you for being here tonight. I want to thank also little sister Hayes, who's been supporting us since day one on this. I want to thank I Am So Loco, who has made all the music for this. There's a bunch of names I just can't even run down right now, but that's okay because I do some other stuff around here that we will still be doing after episode 200. It's the Waffle Box with friend of the family, Mike Fish. It's the original Waffle Box. You accept no substitutions. It is the best part of Wednesdays. It's the People's Podcast, coming to you all the way from the future home of Super Bowl 60. You love us because we do this. We do this because we love you. And for Robyn Seto, for Madeline Kostner, for Jaimel Hemphill, for Drew Angelman, I've been Steve Hemingway. You've been you.
Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
The BosNet Family.
That's our show, folks. That was a great show.
Yay, we done it.